Good morning. Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. We're just going to do a collective check-in using the yin yang. It's 8:26, which is 8 boils down to a 16 boils down to a 7. Numerology first thing in the morning. Anyway, good morning everybody. I got my TikTok going over here. Turn that off for a minute. Niall was watching Pango. I am making bacon, so this is probably going to be like a 10-minute reading. We're just going to do a check-in, just check on the energy. Shit's wild out in the world. If you're on my channel, the collective coffees are the segments that talk about what's going on in the world. Collective convos are like really in-depth taboo topics that we talk about together. And the collective readings are for all of us to get our heads out of our asses and become better people for the sake of the planet. Okay? Alright, welcome. Alright, we've got toxicity bound and patterns on the bottom. We do have the courage to change. The only way I know that is because it's the only card with a crease on it. Okay. Same story, different day. Here we go. What is your shadow work? I have put up a ton of resources to go through shadow work. We have the shadow work playlist, which is identifying shadow aspects through this deck. I have the integrating shadow playlist. We have the daily decolonizing playlist, which is a combination of decolonizing and introspections to get to our shadow work. And then I also have a playlist called Chasing Nostalgia, which is all about healing our inner child. Shadow work, I'm going to repeat myself, I always do. Shadow work is just this acknowledgement of our darkness, right? Things that we're ashamed of, things that we're embarrassed about, things that we've done that have hurt others, things that have been done to us that have hurt us, and everything in between all of that, right? I did already mention that the collective convo is a great place to go. I did 2 collective convos this week. We talked about displaced anger, and yesterday I did one about sexual abuse and healing. So some of those things are within the context of shadow work. If you feel like you need to go watch those, they're there for you. Okay? Now, the reason we integrate our shadow is to bring ourselves this balance, karma, and justice. When we integrate our shadow, when we accept those things about us and about others around us, then we can use those things as tools instead of having them be like, I'm getting that image of like sweeping something under the rug. Again, taboo topics, stigma. Society as a whole has done a great job in letting people know what things are acceptable and what are not. Over here, we say fuck society and we accept normalizing human aspects. Shadows being a big part of that. We live in a society that doesn't have its own karmic balance and justice, obviously. It's really ramping up in the coming moments now, right? We're in the beginning stages of what people in the future will learn about as World War III. We are also if you're in the United States, we are in the future people will call the Civil War, right? So when we accept our own shadows, it makes our ability to see darkness around us easier, so that we can be a part of karmic justice and balance, restoring balance onto this planet. Think of the yin yang, think of, we all have aspects of light and dark within us. White supremacists and New Age spirituality have kind of co-opted this idea of love and light. Like, yes, those things are important, but you can't have light without dark. So accepting our darkness, integrating your shadow, is essential to being on a spiritual path, to decolonizing, to completely healing yourself so that you can step into your totality, who you are, your full truth, okay? And we want to do that because we each have been, I'm getting assigned, but I don't know if it was really an assignment. We each have a purpose to fulfill while we're on this planet in these prophetic times. And we can't really step into that purpose until we accept all parts of ourselves, right? You do have your higher self. I often talk about how our higher self is like the best version of ourselves that doesn't have to deal with this 3D reality, right? I like to think of myself in this 3-tier way, which I often make a parallel to this Christian thought of Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I like to think of myself as like present me, higher self, and inner child, and like making sure that the balance between the 3 of those is good, is how I show up in the world. If that doesn't make sense to you, go check out some of the other playlists. I talk about this a lot, which is why I kind of feel burnt out on not talking about it right now. Okay, you do have assistance from spirit guides from the other realms. The universe, I often think about when people have a hard time conceptualizing spirit guides. I am a medium, so I like to think about the scene from Lord of the Rings at the very end of Return of the King, where the ghost army shows up to help the humans or the hobbits or the elves, I don't know, the people fight against evil, right? We're in these times in real life, not just within movies, where it's very clear that it's just good versus evil. And apathy is a shadow aspect that causes people to do evil harm without being evil, right? That's another reason we want to acknowledge what our darkness is, so that we don't accidentally, surrender our purpose to the evil, okay? Highly recommend watching any movie about revolution. V for Vendetta, Hunger Games, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, right? And Against Voldemort. Whatever it is, it will help you conceptualize what time we're in right now. We are, as much as this shit is physical, it's even more so spiritual. The spiritual warfare happening right now. We are in the age of Aquarius, which is full truths being exposed, the veil lifting. The veil is what it's been dubbed this relationship between spirit realm and human realm, or earth realm, 3D realm, which is again why I always refer to that scene from Lord of the Rings, where two things, that's the veil being thinned, that's the veil being lifted, is when the spirits can come and interact. And I don't know what you believe, but I definitely believe that. I mean, I hang out with spirits more than humans all the time. So, right now, I would pay attention to what messages you are receiving in your dreams. Also speaking to what things that you are passionate about, right? What are your dreams? What are the things that you have skills, talent, passion for, that you can bring and anchor into this realm to help bring this balance, okay? Pay attention to your dreams, all right? And then we have change and courage. Having the courage to change. Remember that change is the only constant on this realm of existence. Think about nature when that's a hard concept to grasp. Nature's constantly changing. Sometimes it's blooming, sometimes it's releasing, sometimes it's growing, sometimes it's dying, okay? When we can accept that we are part of nature, that we ourselves are always also in flux, we start to resist the changes less within a society that has encouraged us to do the opposite, to fight change, to not change, to stay stagnant, to be easier to control, okay? Again, those are the evil entities. We do have autumn and harvest. Whatever you are working on, I would say trust and believe that it is going to come into fruition and you are going to be able to harvest that, not only physically or literally, but also metaphorically, right? So, whatever idea you're simmering with, trust and believe that it will kind of like branch out into all of these other ideas or these action steps. Big fan of making to-do lists, of brainstorming. I write shit all over the place. I've got like a fuck ton of notebooks. I'm constantly writing ideas, including in my notepad on my phone. So trust and believe that things will come together, right? And speaking of coming together, we have integration and union. As you integrate your own shadow, you're going to be attracting others who have also done that work, other people who are aligned on your vibration, on your frequency. If you are seeking romantic love, there is this push right now for people who have elevated themselves to higher vibrations and frequencies to come together. Soul families, soulmates, twin flames. I mean, twin flames are all about lessons, but sometimes they can be romantic partners. Divine counterparts, kingdom spouses. There's lots of language for this right now. Again, within this age of Aquarius, within these prophetic times that we are finding ourselves in, it is imperative that we all do what we can to make ourselves whole, complete, healed, and enmesh with others who have also done that. I'm gonna let you go. This was just a quick check-in. Keep doing this work. Don't give up. It is hard. The Dark Night of the Soul is not a one-time thing. I did do a collective convo about Dark Night of the Soul. Hi. Show me your watch. Ooh. Looks like a cop. Alright, have a good one.